Stay tuned to PBS 39 for an all-new episode of Focus. An after-school program gets the wheels turning using bicycles to introduce students to the world of engineering. Plus, a local competition puts vocational and technical students to the test. Take a tour through Skills USA and meet some of the best and brightest young technical talents in our region. These stories and more coming up right now on Focus. Focus is for our community.
Focus showcases the people,
The places and the issues that matter to you.
Focus on what matters.
You never know what you're going to see when you tune into Focus.
Support for Focus is provided by Univest, Banking, Insurance, Investments, Fellowship Community, Continuing Care with Spirit, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Laura McHugh, broadcasting from the PPL Public Media Center at PBS 39. In this episode, we continue our series Full Steam Ahead, exploring science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. We begin with a focus on science and technology with the Greater Lehigh Valley Skills USA Council. For more than 3 decades, the Council has fostered new talent in an array of professional fields, including healthcare, technology, math, and more. Students recently had the opportunity to showcase their work at an annual competition. Focus contributor Sarah Madonna has more.
The Allentown Fairgrounds played host to some of the best and brightest up-and-coming trade students from across the Greater Lehigh Valley for the annual District 11 Skills USA Championships Showcase of Skills. Over 400 students competed in 55 different categories, testing and showing off their abilities in a very eclectic mix of vocational and technical school courses. The best of the best went head-to-head in cosmetology, carpentry, cake decorating, healthcare services, and electronics, just to name a few. We caught up with 2 students before the showdown to see what it takes to prepare.
I was probably 5 years old when I took apart my grandfather's old computer.
Ricky Frinzi is a senior from the Career Institute of Technology in Easton.
The CPU is in.
Fixing computers is more than just a hobby. It's a passion he hopes will turn into a career. This is the 2nd year he'll be taking part in the competition. He won last year and says he feels pretty confident he can defend his title.
I'm very excited for it, and I'm just more thrilled than anything to just go and show what I can do.
Over at Bethlehem Area Vocational Technical School, senior Nick Labish has also been interested in the electronics field since he was a kid.
When I was little, I was at my grandparents' house. They used to have a clubhouse in the garage. And I used to get interested in the toys, how they worked. So I used to take them apart and I would look at the boards inside.
For Labish, this will be the first time he competes in the Skills USA Council Championship Showcase. Not only that, he only had a month to prepare after taking another student's spot who had dropped out.
I started the week off doing all kinds of online electronic tests and quizzes, and it's like a program, CET, which is Certified Electronic Technician Testing, which covers everything I need to know for the Skills USA competition.
On February 3rd, both Labish and Frinzi put their skills to the test. Skills USA Council does more than just this competition. For 31 years, the organization has partnered students with industry leaders, helping them learn and develop skills that may someday get them hired and attract colleges.
Well, what it says to them is these students already have attained certain things. So they know they've received that Skills USA core, which is really, it's grounded in academics. And then it says, okay, on top of this, you have your trade and you have professional development skills.
Students demonstrated those skills throughout the day-long competition. In one corner, hairstylists cut away. To the right of them, culinary artists whipped up mouth-watering plates of food, baking and putting finishing touches on 2-tier cakes. And across from them, hammers were flying. One competition had teams which included a carpenter, a plumber, an electrician, and a mason. building small, fully functional bathrooms in the middle of the showroom. For the professionals judging their work, it's a hopeful sight.
In today's construction industry, skilled workers are becoming harder and harder to find, and to see youngsters that are in high school that really have a sincere passion for the trades is very encouraging.
Industry leaders assess each event and ultimately decide the winners, but also scout for future employees.
As an industry person, we like to come here to see who the next person is that we'd like to hire, okay? And over the years, I've probably gotten 6 or 7 employees from this operation.
Over by the technology area, Frenzy and Labish both look to score big. Frenzy has completely rebuilt a computer.
They damaged a component for me to fix and set it up so where that I would need to fix that and then repair the computer and install just a new copy of Windows and just set it up for the user to use as an everyday driver.
Right next door, Labish is working hard to wow judges with his circuit board work.
Well, the competition is surprising, of course. I mean, I didn't expect the labs to be like this. The test is a little bit hard.
In the end, Labish took home second place in his category, Electronics Technology, and Frenzy remained the reigning champion of Information Technology Services. Both plan to go on to college next year to study their respective fields, but who knows? Like many who participated in this year's competition, they might have caught the eye of a future employer. For Focus, I'm Sarah Madonna reporting.
Thank you, Sarah. First place finishers like Ricky will compete in state finals in April. Winners there will move on to the National Skills USA competition in June. Now we turn our focus to engineering and a Lehigh Valley organization that teaches mechanics and much more. For that story, here's Focus reporter Grover Silcox.
Thanks, Laura. The Community Bike Works of Allentown offers kids in the inner city a way of making positive connections. Technically, they get to pick out a bike and fix it, connecting all the parts in the process. Socially, they connect with other children and adults as they all work together to refurbish bikes and build relationships through a myriad of enrichment programs. I visited the Allentown Bike Works to see firsthand how technology improves the lives of children in more ways than one. Every day after school, kids build confidence and competence by rebuilding bicycles at Allentown's Community Bike Works.
At Community Bike Works, we like to say that we teach life lessons through bicycle mechanics.
Students from 7 to 18 come here for the Earn a Bike program.
All right, teamwork. There it is. Greg.
You earn a bicycle by putting in 24 hours in your Earn a Bike class. So in addition to learning those skills like mechanics and tool use and parts of a bike and bike safety, you're also learning perseverance.
With help from adult mentors, the kids pick out a donated bike and learn to repair it using the proper tools and techniques.
Anything that sort of turns round and round. The middle of your wheel is called a hub. Your bottom bracket is where your pedals connect to. Your headset's where your handlebar connects with the frame. We also focus a lot on brakes, making sure that a bike is able to stop appropriately when necessary.
13-year-old Charisma rebuilt her mountain bike and learned the importance of precision in the process.
If you take the wheel off, you gotta make sure you put it back on correctly or it's just gonna fall right off and you're gonna get hurt, and that's not a good thing.
Charisma now serves as a youth leader and helps other kids build their bikes.
I've enjoyed being here. It was a great time being here, learning new things and making new friends.
And we also focus a lot on safety and making sure that you're not only riding safe, but your bike is in a safe condition to ride.
Chris, also 13, earned a BMX bike and learned the value of safe cycling and what to watch out for while riding through city streets.
Pebbles, broken glass, cars, and other people. You always need to wear a helmet.
But bicycles aren't the only thing the kids care about at Community Bike Works.
We like to say that the bike is kind of the hook to get the kids in the door, but we want to keep them around for those relationships and the other enrichment programs we offer as well.
Enrichment programs such as Earn a Book and Group Read.
what I really want as a dog.
Students spend time doing group reads and independent reading, and also working on their homework with college student tutors, and then at the end of each semester they get a trip to a bookstore to pick out books for their home library.
On any given day, the Community Bike Works welcomes kids and adults to work on bikes, do homework, work on art and science projects, or just play games.
Our focus is really the students and making sure that they have what they need to be successful in life.
Giving youth a chance to take their dreams and roll with them lies at the hub and the heart of Community Bike Works. For Focus, I'm Grover Silcox reporting.
Thank you, Grover. We continue to focus on engineering with our guests from the Lehigh Valley Professionals chapter of Engineers Without Borders. Herb Klotz is a past president, and Al Ottinger is a project leader for the organization. Welcome to Focus.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So can we start out, or maybe can you describe for us, for people who don't know, what is Engineers Without Borders
Sure.
and what are your goals?
Sure. Engineers Without Borders is a volunteer organization which focuses on building sustainable infrastructure for communities in developing countries. And there are 3 Engineers Without Borders chapters currently in the Lehigh Valley. There's the Lehigh University chapter, there's a Lafayette College chapter, and then there's our chapter, which is the Lehigh Valley Professionals chapter. Each of us have our own projects. We each work on different projects. Our chapter has 2 projects, one in Sierra Leone and one in the Dominican Republic.
Earlier in this series, in Full Steam Ahead, we talked about this perception that engineers and people who are in these STEM or STEAM fields aren't necessarily out there making the world a better place and that they're sort of isolated. But your organization is actually dispelling that and proving that that's not the case at all.
Yeah, as we've learned, as we've worked in these communities, one of the things that we do learn is that part of the work is engineering, but a lot of the work is building relationships with people. I mentioned before that our goal is sustainability, and what we mean by sustainability is that 10, 20, or more years after we leave that community, the work that we've done with that community is still being used. And so how do you do that? Well, one of the things you do is you design engineering solutions that are low maintenance and low cost and things that are going to last a long time. But that's only half of the story. The other half of the story is people, and how do you work with the people in the community. And the key there is making sure that right from the beginning that the community that you're working with owns the project and make sure that they own what you do, and that means that they've got to be invested in the project. They've got to be involved from the perspective of working on the project from day one and actually even paying for part of the project as well.
So I'll come back to Sierra Leone, which is a project that I know you were involved with closely, but I wanted to first talk about the program and the project in Dominican Republic. Al, you're the project leader for that project?
Yes, I am.
And tell us what you're trying to accomplish there.
Bring water and basic water infrastructure to about 200 families who reside in 2 communities in the area. There was more population in the area, but they're off the grid, so to speak, now. And there's been some attrition in recent years. At one time, there was a large agricultural production of tobacco and dairy products, but without water and electricity, many people have moved away. And so we're in the process of working with local government, non-government agencies, Rotary, Peace Corps, and so forth to drill some wells and bring piping and distribution to the community so that they have ready access to water and hopefully then can expand the economic agricultural base.
What have you accomplished so far?
Mostly just assessment trips at this point and a lot of the design aspects, and what the plan is to begin implementation, installation fall of this year if everything goes according to plan. But as Herb said, we've had several trips there by our teams, and it's really about building the community relationships and be able to sustain progress when we're not on the ground, because we only have 4 to 6 people there maybe every 6 months.
And more has already been accomplished in the Sierra Leone project
Yes.
because it's been going on longer, correct?
Yeah, the Sierra Leone project actually started in 2010. What we're doing there is we're helping to rebuild a school, a secondary school, which was destroyed by the brutal civil war that occurred there, or at least the infrastructure was destroyed in the 1990s. The school before that was one of the best schools in the south of Sierra Leone. And as a result, they have very successful alumni. And those alumni have helped us every step of the way. Our goal with that project is to, as I said, rebuild infrastructure, and that includes electricity, water, sanitation, and buildings. And to date, we've made 7 trips to Sierra Leone. There is running water now at the school. There's lighting in classrooms. There are toilets for the students, and we've re-roofed one of the buildings. One of the things that I do want to mention, though, is our partnerships. Our partnerships have been really, really important in the success of these programs. One of them is with this Alumni Association. They come with us on every single trip that we go on. Another one is Rotary. Rotary has been a key financial partner in this process, and both Al and I
was just going to say you're both wearing your Rotary pins today.
Yes, and we're both Rotarians. And but the most important partner is the community itself, and making sure that they're involved in the process every step of the way. Now, I want to tell you a happy story, a happy outcome that has happened at the school. When we started going there, things were not good. I mean, in terms of the level of education, the whole bit. But they just got the results back from the last standardized test for the senior high school students. And almost 90% of those kids passed it at the technical school level, which is way beyond anything that they've ever done before. And it was in one of the top 10 results in the entire country of Sierra Leone. And boy, what a turnaround that is. I can tell you, from where it was to where it's getting to be now.
Significantly less than 50%.
Yeah. Well,
up to 90.
Yeah, and so it's a complete turnaround in the last 5 or 6 years. So we are really happy to be part of a success story like that.
Al, for our viewers who aren't engineers, who can't lend their design and planning expertise, how can we get involved?
There's a lot of opportunities. I'm actually a materials engineer, so I don't have any directly applicable skills, but there's part of those building the relationships, and just there's plenty of work to be done. We have members of our organization that are not engineers, and we try to get people involved in all aspects, including marketing, fundraising, and whatever else it takes to make an organization successful.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Al, Herb, thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Next, we turn our focus to arts and math, and an artist who combines the two in his stained glass masterpieces. For more, here's Focus reporter Brittany Garzillo.
Laura, behind each piece handcrafted by stained glass artist Octavio Pena are patterns of precise angles and measurements. Take this Bethlehem Star, for example. Pena learned the art of stained glass from the late philanthropist Marlene Linney Fowler. The two became part of the original collection of artists at the Banana Factory in 1998. Today, he carries on the craft and the legacy of a local woman known as Linney. Inside the Banana Factory in South Bethlehem, a portrait hangs of the late Lehigh Valley philanthropist Marlene Linney Fowler.
Her dedication to arts was coupled with her dedication to people.
Fowler, who died in February of 2013, is known for her dedication and generosity towards arts, education, and helping others throughout the Lehigh Valley.
Linney as a person was extremely caring and extremely energetic, and also obviously artistic.
In Studio 330, Octavio Pena, a full-time stained glass artist from Bethlehem, honors her legacy. Pena continues the stained glass business that he and Fowler established more than a decade ago, called Fowler and Pena Creations.
It's like a puzzle. Really, it's a puzzle in glass. Pena, who was born in Puerto Rico and came to the United States in 1959, learned the art of stained glass from Fowler.
One of the things she was doing was working at Hogar Crea. Octavio was one of the people who was, at that time, had finished Hogar Crea and was an educator. They just became very good friends, and she recognized that he had talents and suggested that he become involved in the stained glass as well.
She took me under her wing.
This lamp here was made by Lenny.
Today, Pena carries on the business alongside Fowler's husband, Dr. Bill Fowler. The studio features handcrafted Fowler and Pena creations, such as Moravian and Bethlehem stars, sun catchers, lampshades, and panels.
I made many pieces for homes, organization, pieces going to Japan, some in Venezuela, Colombia. They're going all over the place, and make me feel good. Say, wow, my pieces are going far.
The two also designed and created the stained glass window at the Da Vinci Science Center in Allentown and the stained glass transom at the entrance of the Banana Factory.
Well, that's an artistic piece. It has elements of all the different kinds of art that were going on at that time in this building.
On this day, Pena demonstrates how to make a Moravian star, a process that he often teaches students in classes offered through the Banana Factory.
You cut the pattern, and you figure out the size you're going to be making this Moravian star.
He traces the pattern on the glass before cutting each delicate piece. After sanding down each of the 12 pieces, he attaches a copper foil.
So you end up with 12 pieces like this. The glass is already made. The company makes the different greens, the yellows, all the colors are there,
As he solders the pieces together, the iridescent star takes shape.
So now, what I do is cover all the copper.
After fine-tuning and cleaning the piece, the star is ready for display.
There it is.
Though a Moravian star takes Pena roughly 30 minutes to create, other pieces can take weeks or months.
My favorite pieces is when somebody comes in my studio and say, look, I need this for my window or an organization, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but this is my logo, or they give me, that's my challenge right there. Something that's one of a kind, is for the first time.
Fowler and Pena creations are sold during Chris Kindle Mart, online, and at the Banana Factory.
I think Lenny's legacy is clearly important, and her legacy is exemplified in many ways. It's exemplified with this whole facility as well, the whole Banana Factory. But I think it's important to realize that, that the specific piece of it that she was personally involved in is continuing through the work of her colleague and good friend Octavio. See some pictures up here.
The two reminisce as they look at photos of Lenny Fowler, which are displayed on a studio wall.
She used to call me, love, forever friend, Lenny. All the time. Everything she wrote, she said, your forever friend. And you know what she used to tell me? I'll never let you down. And she never did. A lot of times I go by here and look at the pictures, and I talk to myself sometimes. I look at the picture, oh, my beautiful friend, I lost you.
Lenny Fowler, her memory and generosity live on in the hearts of those she touched. For Focus, I'm Brittany Garzillo reporting.
So while we don't necessarily think of artists as involved in those STEM fields, with Octavio, you see science, engineering, arts, and math all coming together in every single piece.
Yeah, and every piece that he uses, he follows a pattern, and again, those precise measurements that he has to use a ruler to make sure everything's in the right spot. And he was generous enough to let us borrow one on set today, which was really nice too.
And Grover, I'm starting to think you're like a closet bicyclist, because this is like the third story. This is the third story about bicycling that you've done in like a year and a half.
Yes, I'm not really a closet bicyclist, but I was when I was like 10. I wasn't a closet bicyclist, I was an actual bicyclist at that time. But no, it's just enjoyable to watch, especially with the Community Bike Works, and how, as they say, the bike is just the hook, really, to bring the kids in. It's the relationships that are really important, and it's wonderful to look at.
My question is, why haven't we seen you on the bike?
Agree.
Well, how about a tandem bike? You can do all the work, and I can sit back and enjoy my advancing years.
So what are you working on for next week, Brittany?
Next week, I'll take you to the Escape Dance Studio in Allentown, and we're going to see some really great hip-hop, ballet, and contemporary. It's going to blow your mind when you see what these young kids are doing.
Did you give it a try, or was it over your level?
I was way too intimidated. My plan was to go in and try it, and then I was like, whoa, 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 I'll let the pros do it.
And what about you?
The Bethlehem Palette Club, an organization for Lehigh Valley artists, and we're going to go to one of their paint-ins and watch them as they paint the portrait of a model who's posing for them.
And you already showed me some of the photos, some of the outtakes,
Really
and it looks
amazing.
very,
We have
very
some
cool.
great talent in the Lehigh Valley, just tremendous.
Yes, we do.
All right, thank you, Grover. Thank you, Brittany. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you right back here next week when we kick off a new month and start with art. Until then, remember to focus on what matters.
Pressler, Wolf & Miller Insurance offers a full range of personal protection and coverage choices as your family grows. Pressler, Wolf & Miller, proudly protecting the families of the Lehigh Valley since 1923.
Next time on Doc.